Welcome, it's Mr. Munoz again, and here we are with watercolor, and this time we're going to do a little painting of some grapes and a cup on a table. Now, before we start, a few things I want you to see here. Again, just to review, for those of you who are joining me for the first time, here is my brush. It's a 1 inch. I have number 10 round, and then I have a number 2 rigger brush. And with these 3 brushes, I can pretty much, on a standard piece of paper, paint anything I need to paint. Okay, now I've already put my colors in my palette. I have my palette over here. You can see that I have my cad yellow. I have my ultramarine. I'm sorry, yes, I'm in my cad yellow, my alizarin crimson, and my ultramarine, and then I have over here my sepia. As some of you know, we've been using some sepia in class. Now, we've all been doing this in class, putting together grapes and cups and that, but I thought I'd better do this demo to kind of summarize what we've been trying to do and how to put the whole thing together from beginning to end. First of all, we have our drawing. Now, what's most important in a watercolor drawing is not the detail that we put in the drawing, because the drawing is going to be a painting, but rather the silhouette. It's the silhouette of the objects that are most important, because that's what we recognize. Believe it or not, if you see a relative, somebody you know, your mom, your dad, your spouse, whoever it may be, walking in a distance with the sun behind them, you don't see their features. Yet I bet you'll recognize them a yard away. You'll just know, oh, that's mom, or that's my wife, or that's my boyfriend, or my girlfriend. Yes, I know, because you recognize the silhouette. That's so important. So first thing we're going to do is do our drawing. So we have our pencil in hand, and we're going to start our drawing. Now, I have already done that in order to save time. So with just a few motions like that, and voila, we have our drawing. And there's our drawing, okay? So we're going to start with that drawing. That's the drawing. Now let's look at that drawing for a second, okay? We notice that we have the table here. We have a clump of grapes, and notice I'm not painting in or drawing in every single grape. No, I'm doing just the outside of the grapes. And then you have the chalice, and then here you see the leaf. You have a leaf here, you have a leaf here, and that. I don't worry about shadows or anything else. We'll do that as we continue the painting. So now, in order to start painting this, the first thing I'm going to do is to wet the areas that I need to in order to be aware of where I'm going to paint and where I'm going to leave space. Remember how we have to reserve our whites. There are areas we're not going to add in white. Now in class sometimes we cheat. We'll use titanium acrylic, or we'll use titanium white acrylic, or we'll use gouache. Titanium white, or another one which I like using from time to time if I'm doing a mixed media piece is I will add casein colors, being titanium white. But normally we try to avoid doing that, okay? We try to reserve the paper for all our whites, and only in rare occasions and only for the very minutest amount of painting would we use a white. So we're going to put white aside. We're going to try and do this without putting in the white. Okay, so here we have our drawing, and now we're going to start the painting. Now, let me show you what I meant about massing in. We're going to mass in the grapes. Now, we know that the grapes are going to be a combination of alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. We're not going to overmix. Remember, don't want to overmix. So we want to put in what we've got, we'll put it in. We want to be careful because again, what we have as far as our silhouette, we don't want to mess that up. And then as we continue adding, we're going to put in our some more darker grapes, maybe here, maybe around here, and we'll add that in here. Okay. And we got it here and here. Okay, so we're just adding in those grapes, trying to get them as rich and as succulent as possible here. Look at that. Okay. And here we have one here. Maybe one here. There we go. And maybe one here. Okay, and so there we go. Okay, so we've got our grapes there. We'll put some grapes up on top there. We have some kind of just rolling over here. We'll try to, again, maybe we want to keep reserve some whites. That's fine. And down on the bottom there, we have our other, which are mostly more of a yellow grape, okay? And again, we want to reserve areas where there is going to be some white. So we don't want to do everything on there. And then we have our leaves. And we're going to add a little bit more. I'm going rather quickly here to see if we can't just put in the basic form with a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Maybe we want to do that. And then we may want to add, now we also have on top, we have a little bit of the leaf, so we want to put that in. So let's just add that in here. Okay, we'll leave that like that now. Now, looking at the chalice, which is more of a brownish, earthy tone, let's just put in, make it an orange first. And maybe we can just a touch of sepia, just a touch. Okay, let's get a little bit more there. There we go. Okay, let's see what color we get there. Okay, that's about right, kind of. Anyhow, area where we're not going to paint, okay, which is important. And then the areas where we are going to paint. And then again, areas where we're not going to paint, okay. Okay, so we've got that going in there. Want to pick up our excess water there and here, okay. Then we have an area there where we're going to put in kind of a brownish rim that's there, okay. We'll put it in here, okay, and then we'll put it in here, and we'll put it in here, okay. And then we have a little bit of a design here on this side. You may want to put that in very lightly, but still it's there. Okay, well, it's too much water right now. We'll put that in a little bit later. The bottom part again, here. There we go. That's where we are so far. And then let's pick up the excess. All right. Now for the, to complement the grapes, kind of, we're going to put in our tablecloth, whatever you want to call this. Okay. Okay, put that in. Okay. There we go. And then, whoops, gotta mix that a little bit with the, there we go. Okay, great. Then we have a little darker, we have just a tad darker at the bottom. So we'll put that in here. Okay, that's fine. And then a little bit more of this color here. There we go. Okay, so there we do just a basic painting, okay? We're just getting the basics on there, okay? And then we're leaving it alone because we have to allow that to dry, okay? Again, through the miracle of doing this quickly, I've done one already. So let's look at it now after it has dried, totally dried. Okay, there's the dry one. And basically looks like the other one. The colors are in a little darker. I took a little bit more time with it. I just wanted to show you. Now let's go through here and see what we can do to now add a little bit of detail, bring out some of the details of what it is we've painted. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is wipe our palette down a little bit. Now, let's go in and start looking at what we can do to improve this. Here, I did a little better job of allowing and leaving some whites here. I left some whites up here. I left a few whites here. But now what we have to do is kind of intensify and do some important things in order to make it come out just a little bit more. One of the things we need to do right off the bat, we know that the light is pretty much coming this way, is putting in some shadows. Now, if you recall in class, I told you that when you have a chalice or a cup like this part is coming out like that. So how do you get that part to look like that and not look flat? Well, the way we do that is by adding in a little bit of shadow. So I'll put in just maybe a little bit of sepia with that, just with the blue, just a tad, okay? I might even want to, I could take the painting and turn it upside down if I want, like that. And then I can just paint it like so. Okay. And then what I can do right away before that dries is bleed it out. Okay. Okay. And just kind of let that go down like that. Okay. Soak up the excess. Okay. Again, we can add just a tad more of that sepia in there. That's it. Yeah. Okay. And then again, let that bleed out a little bit. Okay. And that's what's doing right now. Also, shadows you'd want to have shadows on about where the grapes are. Okay. So you might want to take a little bit of blue and that. You know, put in some shadow here. Okay, and then again, you want to bleed that out. That's it. Okay, and then over here, maybe a little bit to show a roundness in the we're going to take a little bit of sepia and mix it with the blue here, and we'll add that in here. Okay, like that. And then we will again bleed that out, being careful of our highlighted area. Okay. Okay, so that we have a little bit of a, okay, that's good. Okay, I'll kind of leave it like that, dry it out a little bit so that we don't get any back burns if at all. Back runs if at all possible. Okay, and then we have here some dark areas that we need to put in where the inside of the cup is. Okay, and then we'll leave that alone. Now, let's look at the grapes. How are we going to do the grapes? Again, very bold now. I'm going to take my yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Make it really bold, really dark bold. Okay, then I'm just going to outline a few areas, see? I'll put a little bit more blue so it can be seen, okay? So we'll just put a little bit like that. Now what we do is right away we take that and we bleed it out. That's right. That's it. Okay, and we add some more. Okay, do the same thing here. Here and here. Maybe a little here and here. Okay, and then maybe here in the middle a little bit. Okay, and then what we want to do is take that and we want to, again, bleed it out. Okay, and then we'll kind of leave it there like that for now. Then add a little bit of shadow. Okay, add a little bit of shadow because after all, this is on the ground here, or on the table. And put some shadow under here, like that. Okay. Then let's look at the leaf for a second. Give it a little bit of a dimension on that leaf. Okay. Let's just get part of it on the dark side, part of it looking up. Okay. Then again, also there, you have to be able to put in your shadow. Okay. All right, now let's take a look at those leaves, those grapes on top. Get those nice and dark, because of the fact that they are on dark. Let's not overdo it, but you've got to be able to give me a, there we go, a nice blue that's dark enough. And here we go. Be careful not to touch your grapes or anything where it's wet. Okay, now there again, you want to take those and then you want to bleed it just a bit. Okay, and then you want to continue doing that same process. Right up here. And then where we add a little bit more red to the other ones there. Okay. But again, with the blue. Okay. Okay. Then you want to take that, and then what you want to do is just bleed that out a little bit. Okay, and then again, using the blue, you want to get that silhouette. Remember how important the silhouette is, huh? So we got to make sure that here we get that silhouette in there. Okay, there you go. And then we again spread that out. See, now it's starting to look like grapes inside. Now here you know that the dark end is on the other side. So let's take some of that and leaf there and put it into darkness. Okay, you don't even have to do the whole leaf, just that part. Matter of fact, I like that. I want this to pop a little bit more because it doesn't pop enough here. So I might do a little bit of this here. Okay. Just so that it pops a little bit more, and then I can always bleed it out. See, using all the techniques that we've learned, and then we can also the rigger brush. Okay, we can take a little bit of that, and we can add little gestures of vines, or what do you call it? There you go. Okay, that's going to help the brain pick up the fact that these are definitely, grapes. Okay, now another thing we can do. Sometimes little vines go all over the place. See if I can get that effect here. I'm going to try this here. Okay, and we may want to have let's add a little bit more color here. Let's see. Can't get this to. Okay. All right, and we're pretty much done on this side, in this area. Okay, now, what we may want to do something with the bottom there, I'll take a flat brush now, and just to give it a little bit of variety, you know, remember we have the folds in the cloth. So let's put them in just real briefly here. Running out of paint. Thought I had enough here. Okay, and remember it's a little darker on that side, so we'll just add this in. And that's it. Voila, we're done. And there's our painting. And you have the grapes, you have the chalice. We put in a little bit on the bottom here so that we get some of the roundness. We have the marks of the grapes there. We may just want to intensify that just a little bit over here because we lost some of it in the process of doing the grapes. So we may want to put this back in here. There we go. And right here. Okay. And then what we can do is we can just take that, if you feel that's too strong, and we can just line it out like that, fade it out there a little bit, kind of have it join the rest of it. And that's it. And we're done. And see, you have a lot of variety. You've got the grapes, you've got the cup, you've got the little vine things. I don't know. I add a little dark. I didn't even use the right color, but it didn't matter as long as we brought in the dark a little bit so that we gave it a little bit of variety there. You know, we can even put some here. There. And that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless.